Hey guys, before we start today's video, I want to give a quick shout out real quick to a new YouTube channel called Raccoons Abridged. It's a new YouTube channel made by my good friend ThomasFan101 along with DragonBoy618. The channel features the Raccoon Abridged, a parody series of the Canadian animated TV show The Raccoons. The main goal of this channel is to get more people to discover the raccoons. It has a cult following, but not a whole lot of people know about the show still, and they're hoping to get more people to watch the series. It's got my interest a little bit. I've seen the first episode of the original series and it's pretty good, and even if you don't know anything about the raccoons, the abridged episodes are funny and well edited and have some great funny moments in it. So whether you're a huge fan of the raccoons or you want to watch some more content made by my good friend ThomasFan101, I highly recommend giving this channel a shot. Hello and welcome everyone to the Marr Show. Thank you guys for joining me for another fantastic episode. It's that wonderful time again where E3 is now upon us. But I have to admit, this year I feel a little bit mixed. Usually this is the part of my annual E3 video where I talk about the magic and the wonders of E3. But this year was a little bit different for me. On one hand, there was a lot of great games. There was a ton of surprises that I'm really hyped about, way better compared to last year. But in terms of the atmosphere of E3, it just doesn't feel the same anymore. And I'm not just saying that due to Sony not having a conference there, but in terms of like the conferences, they just don't feel the same. They don't have that wow factor or magical feeling or excitement that I had years before. In fact, to be fair, I only watched 2 conferences this time around. Nintendo's, obviously, I think they won E3 this year, and then I skipped over a little bit with Microsoft. But if you ask me about what I thought about Bethesda, Ubisoft, or EA, I didn't really watch those conferences at all. In fact, I heard a lot of people say that Bethesda's was the worst show, as they showed mostly mobile games. I have nothing against mobile games. I know people love mobile games, but I have a flip phone. I can't play Commander Keen on this. I'm not sure, this E3 just didn't feel the same as it did before for me. But that does not mean the games weren't there. In fact, to be fair, like I said before, there were a lot of great surprises from this E3 that I'm really stoked about. All these games that I actually have more games here than I did last year that I was really excited for. And it's still a great time for people to come around this time of year to boast about what games they're excited for, that they're pre-ordering, that they're excited to come out, whether it be this year or next year or beyond. This year had a lot of great surprises for me. A lot of these games I'm really looking forward to that really surprised me on the grand scheme of things. And I want to talk about my 10 personal favorite games of E3 that I am the most excited for to get. One of them, I am gonna admit, I am cheating with this one, but still, it counts as like a game, whatever, that I'm really excited for. Before I do talk about my 10 games, I want to go through 3 other games that I'm really excited for as well. One is Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. That one just looks a lot of fun, as Yooka-Laylee is a fun game. The sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I was not expecting at all, and it looks absolutely spectacular. I cannot wait how they build from Breath of the Wild to this one, as Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games ever. And then there's the Destroy All Humans remake. I'd heard rumors about a remaster coming out, but to see them remaking this game that I really like is simply incredible. I am so happy they're remaking this game. And those are sort of my runner-ups for this year. I didn't do any runner-ups for last year's, which is kind of weird when I look back through my E3 videos, but this year, oh, I'm so excited for these games. Let's just go ahead and get started with my 10 personal favorite games that were showcased at E3 that I am uber excited to do. Except for one. One of them is not a game, so I'm cheating with this one, I will admit, but it's my video, so screw it. For this first one, it's actually a DLC add-on for an already game that was released, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, I don't do a whole lot of heavy reactions, well, minus that one video, but I don't want to talk about it as it's cringeworthy, extremely cringeworthy. but there was one sudden part during Nintendo's Direct at the end that I jumped in joy, and I think everyone knows what it is Banjo-Kazooie being a fighter in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I know this is cheating since this isn't a game but an add-on, but I was super excited to see this. They look so incredible, the movesets look amazing, and how they captured the personality of Banjo and Kazooie. Heck, the trailer where you see Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and King K. Rool being happy to see the old buds, that was just so incredible. This is something that me and so many other people have been waiting for years to happen. And to be fair, I knew this was coming eventually. I mean, Nintendo and Microsoft have been getting along extremely well, with some of their games actually appearing on Nintendo platforms. But let's just say, I was really happy to see this. In fact, I actually have a funny story to say that actually involves Grover here. You remember Grover from my video a few months ago. I need to showcase more of my little buddy here, as he's just a blessing, he really is. But I was watching the Nintendo Direct with my brother Blackcross and Grover here. He was sitting in between us, and when it got to the Banjo-Kazooie part, I jumped up and I was screaming, just yay, hooray, and poor Grover here, he didn't know how to make it up. Like, he has never seen me scream or anything. I don't like screaming at all, even if it's necessary, like fanboying up. I said some things that are kind of disturbing, but I was just excited. But because since Grover has never seen me so excited, he was scared to death. He was nervous. He didn't play with me at all. He was just kind of strolling around. He was hiding underneath the shoe rack, for crying out loud, but he's better now. He's my little buddy. So yeah, I'm excited for Banjo-Kazooie coming to Smash. I'm also excited to see the Dragon Quest Heroes, as I like Dragon Quest 8 and I know how popular the series is. Heck, we're getting another game on the Switch later on this year, but Banjo-Kazooie, I mean, that's up there. I mean, that is so good to see. And Grover, again, I'm sorry that I scared you. I'm sorry, buddy. I love it when he gives me sugar. Okay, the rest of the games on this list are actual games, not DLC, but come on away, that's just really great to hear. But anyway, the next game was actually revealed a few days before E3 actually started, or at least the conferences, but this one really made me excited to see. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I don't talk about him a whole lot, but I do have a fond connection with SpongeBob SquarePants, or at least the first 4 seasons. I used to watch it a whole lot. I love the series, I love the characters and the humor. In fact, to this day, not counting the memes, but me and my friends still quote SpongeBob to this day. And I actually remember enjoying a lot of the SpongeBob SquarePants games back when I watched it on Nickelodeon. There was actually 4 games that I really enjoyed. Those games being the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game, Creature from the Krusty Krab, Lights, Camera, Pants, and then of course, Battle from Bikini Bottom. In fact, spoiler alert, I am going to review all 4 games. Not at the same time, just whenever I get a chance to. Don't let this game mess your eye up. It's not just a typical tie-in game with a franchise. This is actually a legitimate good platformer. It's a wonderful collectathon with fun levels, great gameplay elements where you get to play as SpongeBob, Sandy, and Patrick. It's a really fantastic game, and it really shocked me to see them remake this game. You don't really see remakes of already existing IPs or based on television shows that much, aside from like DuckTales Remastered. So to see a game of SpongeBob SquarePants being remade is amazing. There's no gameplay footage, unfortunately. There's a few screenshots, but not that much. One thing that we do know that I am uber excited for is that we're actually going to get cut content that was originally cut from the original game being added onto the remake. So for example, you know the whole concept art of where we have a robot Squidward fight? That's going to be in Rehydrated. That's incredible. This next game I have was originally an Xbox One exclusive, but it's coming over to Nintendo Switch. New Super Lucky's Tale. I did used to own an Xbox One S, but me and my brother didn't touch it for like a year. It was collecting dust and we gave it to our friend James. But during the time that I did have the Xbox One, I was wanting to get Super Lucky's Tale. I mentioned it a few years ago as a runner-up on my list, and the game looks cute and harmless. It may not be a major platformer game changer compared to like Super Mario Odyssey, but the game doesn't have to be a groundbreaking game changer or anything. You just have to have a fun, light personality, and that's something that I really see in Super Lucky's Tale. Now granted, since I don't have an Xbox One anymore, I can't play it, but when I saw that they're bringing it to the Nintendo Switch and adding some new stuff to it, that made me extremely happy. From the looks of it, looks to have some new levels and some new characters involved, and it just looks so colorful and fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I think the game comes out September, I believe, on the Nintendo Switch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but rest assured that I am definitely excited to get this game after waiting for so long. It just seems like a really fun, cute platformer, and some of the levels look a lot of fun, especially this one part here where you see Lucky jumping on these blocks that change from spikes to trampolines. It doesn't look super challenging, it just looks like a fun, relaxing journey with some cute, colorful characters to join along with. Okay, so this next game, I don't really mention this game a whole lot. It's kind of like with Epic Mickey for me. It's a game I really love, but I have yet to talk about it here on the show. Psychonauts. I absolutely love Psychonauts. It's one of my personal favorite original Xbox games. Yes, I know it was released on PS2, but I got it for the Xbox back in the day. I love the writing, the characters, the unique gameplay, the atmosphere. It's an incredible platformer, and it's sadly one that's pretty underrated in regards to platformer games that was released back in the 6th generation of consoles. And I've been wanting a Psychonauts 2 for eons, and to see it coming into reality, and from the looks of it, it looks so incredible with more detail, and the worlds within the mines just look oh so gorgeous. I am simply excited for Psychonauts 2. Unfortunately, we don't have an official release date aside from 2019, but yeah, I'm just really excited. Psychonauts is a really fantastic game with great writing. Then again, whenever you have a game that has Tim Schafer in it, you know you're gonna have an interesting game that has fantastic writing that just transports you into a unique world. And I do plan on reviewing Psychonauts here on the show, much like Epic Mickey. Hopefully a bit sooner, as I actually did recently pre-order the PlayStation 4 version of Psychonauts from Limited Run Games. They take digital game onlys and turns them to physical copies, which is great in my book. So yeah, when I finally get that in, I'll hopefully talk about Psychonauts. It's a great game, it simply is. So earlier I did mention the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I'm really excited for, but we don't really have any information to go off about it. Sure, we have some rumors about like Zelda being a possible playable character or co-op, or there was one interesting rumor I heard on Twitter from someone I think I got the tweet saved, I'll probably put it on here, that mentioned a possible theory of the story that sounds really intriguing, it really does. And while I'm excited for the sequel, there's not enough information for me to put it on my list. There is a Zelda game, however, I am excited about, that I was actually excited for quite some time since the last Nintendo Direct. The remake of Link's Awakening. I sadly have not played the original. I have it, but I have yet to play it, but this remake looks so good. In fact, just a few hours ago, I pre-ordered my copy from GameStop as I'm really excited for this game. I simply love the art style for it. It has that plasticine claymation look almost. Not as heavily claymated compared to Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, but just has that clean, slick plasticine look. Not to mention, I always loved 2D Zelda games. I love Link Between Worlds and Link to the Past. Something about 2D Zelda games are always fun with the dungeons and the layout. I don't know, it's just so fun and much more involved with the dungeons, I guess. And one thing that makes me excited to play this is that Link's Awakening has a lot of interesting gameplay elements, such as this side 2D parts where you're jumping up or swimming in the water, and it has some really fun, interesting characters that you come across along your journey. So I'm really looking forward to play the remake. I probably should play the original first, but this one, oh my gosh, it just looks so breathtaking, and I cannot wait till September 20th to get my hands on it. There's another Nintendo game that's on this list that we know about for quite some time, but we got a lot of great information from Luigi's Mansion 3. I played the first Luigi's Mansion, and I will admit, when I was young, I was scared to play it. It just felt very different from any Mario game. I mean, I liked the idea of playing Luigi, but the atmosphere was just too scary for me. It wasn't until years later where I played it and I really enjoyed it. It's a really enchanting game that I love to play on Halloween that's spooky but not too pee in your pants spooky. Now granted, I have Dark Moon, I have yet to play it. I probably should, considering I say this game will probably be out in October, I'm not sure. But but this third installment has a lot of great additions that makes it so much fun, such as having 2 players in with Guigi, where one player can play as Luigi and the other one can play as Guigi, and able to team up to do puzzles and navigate through the mansion. And there's also the skyscraper duel, where you go up so many levels of the skyscraper, defeating ghosts and being a tag team with 4 players and everything. It looks incredible, and actually one that me and Blackcross are gonna be playing together, or at least I'm hoping for, because this game looks really fun with 2 players, and I love the animation that they have. It simply looks incredible. This next game is actually going to be coming out later on this month, but I'm putting it on here anyway because I'm super excited for it. Super Mario Maker 2. I love the original Super Mario Maker. In fact, we actually have a few episodes of Demo Pals where me and some of my friends actually do play some levels. And I even did a vlog showcasing some of my levels that I made from Super Mario Maker. And Super Mario Maker 2 is that, but doubled in creativity, the ways that you can make levels. There is so much stuff they added in. And not to mention adding Super Mario 3D World in. I am really looking forward to play those levels. I'm not sure about creating, as I'm a bit overwhelmed with so much to do and how to make different levels, but I'm really looking forward to playing all the different levels within Super Mario Maker 2 and see the creativity that people can do, especially in the Super Mario 3D World game engine. And one thing that I'm really excited about is the story mode. There's a story mode going to be added in the game where you have to go through 100 levels in order to build back up Princess Peach's castle. That part there I think is really hilarious and pretty interesting, I have to say. But yeah, Super Mario Maker 2, looking forward to that. It's going to be a blast, and I'm going to be blown away with so much level possibilities. I am not playing any levels by this guy though. He's evil. He's bad man. He's bad man. So I mentioned earlier that I only really watched 2 press conferences this year at E3, that being Nintendo and Microsoft. And while Microsoft didn't have a whole lot of games that made me excited, there was one game that caught me off guard as to wondering, oh my gosh, they're actually doing it, and that's LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. This game is going to take all 9 films of the Star Wars series and just put them all in one game, which is super incredible. I absolutely love the original LEGO Star Wars games. I played them to death as a kid, and while my personal favorite LEGO game is LEGO City Undercover, another game I gotta add to my list of games I need to devote an entire episode on. They're both incredible games, and while they're easy, I love the unique creativity of the levels, the vast amount of playable characters that you can play, and use their abilities to help to get super unlockables and everything. They're just incredible. And to see them take all 9 films of Star Wars and make one game out of it, that is going to be a lot of content there, and so many different playable characters from all across the films, and it's just going to be mind-blowing. Now granted, we don't have a whole lot of information on it, aside from it coming out next year, obviously, since Rise of the Skywalker is going to be coming later out this year, but I'm wondering if they're going to take like the original levels from the original games and put them on here, but enhance them with HD visuals, maybe tweak them a little bit. I'm not sure, but whatever the case, I am really looking forward to it, as I love the LEGO Star Wars games. I may not be a huge Star Wars person compared to everyone else, but I always love the LEGO Star Wars and I love the personalities, and maybe judging by the trailer, I doubt it, but maybe in this one we're gonna have it where the characters aren't gonna speak, but they're gonna do the and aha and all that stuff instead of having fully voiced dialogues. Which I have nothing against. I mean, LEGO City Undercover, what really attracted me to it was the creative writing and the voice acting, but still that'll be a nice little tradition of going back to how it was originally. It'll be a nice touch, I have to say. One more game from Nintendo's Direct that I was really looking forward to, and one that we know that was going to be showcased in the Direct, Animal Crossing New Horizons. I love Animal Crossing New Leaf. That's my personal favorite game on the 3DS. I love the neighbors and the calm atmosphere. The music is so relaxing, and I actually do use the music a lot in my videos from New Leaf. And to see this new Animal Crossing, it's really made me excited. I haven't played any of the other ones yet aside from New Leaf, but this one has an interesting concept of where you're on a stranded island and you build your house and there's other people on the stranded island. It looks really great. However, the game won't be released until 2020, which that is perfectly okay with. I would rather have a developer take the time on a project instead of rushing through to get this game out immediately, unlike some other companies. And I'm just looking forward to New Horizons. It just looks relaxing. So this last game on my list is going to require a bit of describing about it. And it's also going to reveal some things I'm a little bit nervous of the reaction, considering a lot of my friends love this franchise and everyone around loves it so much, but I'm just going to go ahead and flat out say it. I have never played any Final Fantasy game at all. I did play a little bit of Final Fantasy X, but not enough to where I say I played it or something. And I don't know, I just never really got into the Final Fantasy games. And I don't hate them or anything, I respect what the games have done, and even admire the history of the Final Fantasy series itself. And I like turn-based combat, and some of the characters are legendary in video games. I just never really got around to playing a Final Fantasy game all the way through, and it never really got my interest. So it's a bit of a shame for me to admit that I've never played Final Fantasy VII. I know about the characters, I used to watch my brother play the game back in the day on the original PlayStation 1, and I even enjoyed the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children movie that came out a few years ago. But I just never really got around to playing Final Fantasy VII. I just never had to, or even thought about it, as I was busy focusing on so many other games. I mean, look at all the games I have on my shelf, I have too many. But when my brother showed me the Square Enix presentation of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is coming out March 3rd of next year, I was interested in it. The visuals are breathtaking, the voice acting is top notch, but what really sold me was the combat. Granted, I still would have been fine with it if it was turn-based, but it looks so engaging and intuitive and action-packed. It looks simply incredible. I love how you can switch characters on the fly, and the bosses look interesting. It just looks so addicting. And because of how great the gameplay looks, it got me excited to play the remake. But I wouldn't be lying, there's a part of me that feels a little bit ashamed of waiting so long to finally play Final Fantasy VII. And this is gonna sound extremely selfish when I say this, but I think the reason why I hold it off on playing the remake was because I hear so many people saying of how great Final Fantasy VII is. There's so many people that have an emotional attachment to this game that raises the greatness of this game. And it's not just with Final Fantasy VII, but other games as well, such as Ocarina of Time or Undertale. That I'm worried that if I play this game, I wouldn't feel that same emotional attachment like everyone else, or I wouldn't really feel like this game is groundbreaking like everyone else does. And I'm worried that my opinions for it wouldn't match up to everyone else's. But then when I look back to how I thought about Breath of the Wild, another game that everyone is regarding as a masterpiece, and when I compare how I thought about the game to everyone else's, I realized that everyone loves the game for a different reason. I love Breath of the Wild because of the open exploration and how vast the world is, seeing so many different locations and surprises and its breathtaking visuals. And really in the grand scheme of things, it shouldn't matter if your opinion ranks up to everyone else's. What matters is your love for the game itself. Maybe I'll love the remake for the combat more than I will with the story, or maybe I'll finally fall in love with these characters and have a deep appreciation, or maybe I'll love the open world and how visually the game is. Everyone has their own different opinions of why they love a game or not, and it shouldn't matter if yours ranks up to everyone else's. What matters is that you love the game for what you love it for. And whether or not I regard it as a masterpiece like everyone else's, it's gonna be entirely how I play the remake. Everyone's gonna have their own reactions, and I wouldn't be surprised if some people would say the remake isn't as good as the original PlayStation 1 version. But it doesn't matter if your opinion ranks up to everyone else. What matters is how you fall in love with the game, what you like about it, and it doesn't matter if your love for it doesn't match up to everyone else's. It's your experience, your story, and your love. That's what makes the game special to you. Not how hyped up the game is or how everyone says it's the greatest game known to mankind, but it's up to you of how you love the game. And I cannot wait to finally get my hands on Final Fantasy VII Remake and finally see my perspective on Final Fantasy VII. And so yeah, this E3, it was great. It was really good. Granted, that made me a little bit nervous about the future of E3. Like, with so many companies now looking forward to doing like Nintendo is with their directs and going directly to the viewers, I don't know how the future of E3 holds up, but regardless, whether E3 be this magical feeling that it was years ago, or it'll be just like conferences that won't last impact but will have amazing games that will really get you hyped up, that's the part that I'm looking forward to. So we'll just have to wait and see what E3 has to store in the future. Heck, I just realized that this is actually my 5th time doing an E3 video, so that's quite a long time to do E3, so I guess the years change over time. But regardless, that's all the time we have for today, folks. So, in the comment section below. Let me know what games from E3 you are excited to play. Are you excited for like Link's Awakening or the Final Fantasy VII Remake? Or are you excited for games that I didn't mention on the video? Like I know a lot of people are uber excited for Cyberpunk 2077 and even Halo Infinite that's coming out on the upcoming Project Scorpion next year. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. But in any case, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching this. God bless you. And I will see you all on the next episode of The Del Marr Show. Bye bye!